We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. 6:04. We'll finish 4 minutes early tonight. Whatever time that was going to be. Are we recording?
Yes.
Okay. And what I'm going to do is, before we start, again, we've got roughly 25 people here physically present. We have another dozen that are joining us online. So just so everybody's aware that we do have kind of a split audience tonight. And for those that are online, what I'd ask you to do first and foremost is if we could mute your microphones until you speak. If you have a speaking part or if you choose to speak, kind of reduces some of the feedback here. And what we'll do is we'll start off with our first item of business tonight is to approve the minutes. We have two meetings that we need to approve our minutes for, one on October 26th, and then the second one was November 2nd. This is an item for our commissioners to approve these minutes as they were presented. They have received a copy of all of them and all commissioners were present. So with that, I'm going to open the floor for a motion to approve those minutes from both of those two meetings.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Doster, a second from Commissioner Strickland to approve. Are there any questions from those two meetings or any comments on the minutes as they were presented? Seeing none, hearing none, we will start the vote. I have, let's see, I have Commissioner Allen online. I have Commissioner Strickland here, Commissioner Bettis online. I have Commissioner Kirk online and Commissioner Doster present. So with that, we'll go ahead and open the floor. Commissioner Allen, the vote is to you, sir.
Yes.
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 Yes. All right. Both of those minutes, those meetings minutes are approved. Our second item of business is to cover any items that might have been involved with guests or visitors. And tonight we did not have any scheduled, so we will move on to a chairman's report. If there was such a thing, and I share this, and I know it's probably late in the day to try to add any humor, but next week's meeting is going to be lengthy. So for every opportunity I have to expedite tonight, I will probably take that opportunity, just so y'all know. So there is no chairman's report. That was a long way to say that. Public hearings on road abandonment. Now we had 3 roads that were brought up at the beginning of November to consider for abandonment. So just a little clarification. These roads, all 3 of these roads were brought to the county, brought to the commissioners for consideration. The criteria for these roads to be abandoned is that they no longer continue to serve a public good. So the county, the tax dollars or whatever that would normally go towards maintaining them could be moved elsewhere. The reason we have public hearings is because not everybody sees that consideration the same way. And we don't take them lightly because they're on this list. We have 3 roads: Andrew Adams Road, Ray O'Kelly Road, and then there's a portion of O'Kelly Road, and that comes off of Highway 98 to Short Seagrades. Those 3 roads were considered or are being considered for abandonment. It is not a foregone conclusion they'll be abandoned. That's the reason we have this hearing. So I want to make sure everybody knows nobody's made a decision yet. And we're just interested in trying to offer anybody that might have a feeling one way or the other on those roads for their consideration. So with that, what I'm going to do, we'll take them in the order that they're listed. Andrew Adams Road. Andrew Adams Road. So this is, again, sorry, violated my own rule there. Okay. We will consider, we'll open the floor then for consideration of, first of all, Andrew Adams Road. Is there anybody here tonight that would like to speak one way or the other, consideration of abandoning Andrew Adams Road? For those that may or may not be aware, there are 4 parcels on that road, and we did not have any objection when the road was presented, but I'm offering it now. Is there anybody here tonight that would like to speak publicly for or against abandoning Andrew Adams Road? What I'll do is, although these are listed together, will probably serve us better to have an individual vote. So what I'd like to do then is, if there's no comment or if there's no opposition to abandoning this road, I'm going to close the public hearing, and I'll ask the commissioners then to vote to abandon this road. At this point, I'll open the floor for a motion to abandon Andrew Adams Road. Now, one point of clarification, and this goes for all these roads. Just because the county abandons a road, it simply means that the county will no longer allocate resources to maintain that road. There is, by law, for those people that may live on that road or have access, a prescriptive easement that would still allow them to transit that road. It simply won't be county maintained. Those property owners may choose to maintain, and that's fine. So it's not like the county can actually close a road. We're just choosing not to maintain it anymore. So I just want to be real clear on that. So before the commissioners right now, I'd offer, or I'd ask for a motion then to abandon Andrew Adams Road.
I make a motion to abandon Andrew Adams Road.
I have a motion from Commissioner Kirk and a second from Commissioner Strickland. Any comments or questions from the commissioners on this Andrew Adams Road?
I have a question, I guess, for clarity, and it'll apply to all of them. As far as the abandonment process, will the county attorney, will we document the prescriptive easements that are there, or the tax parcels that have? I'm just trying to make sure for the record, when somebody comes back and asks, when it's, does some deed research, how they will identify who may or may not end up having a prescriptive easement if it's not documented today as a prescriptive easement and it's a road.
So Mike Pruitt, I don't know if did you hear the question?
Yeah, I heard that.
Can you offer something on that?
Yes, sir. So whether there's a prescriptive easement and the width of it depends on how long it's been used and how much of it's been used. So that's really not something that the county can speak on as to even whether one exists, much less what the dimensions of it are. That's going to be something that the landowners have to work out. Now, on Andrew Adams Road, the only parcel that would be landlocked is tax parcel 0049-057, and the same owner owns it and the adjacent one that has frontage on Jones Chapel Shiloh Road. So really, I don't think it's an issue there, which is probably because we haven't heard, it's probably why we haven't heard from anybody.
Yeah, I've talked to the landowner and they're in agreement with this. In fact, would be very happy that this would be done.
While I have it, Mr. Chairman, can I just clarify on these motions? Can we just clarify that the motions include authorizing the chairman and the county clerk to sign quitclaim deeds to the adjacent property owners?
Very, very good. Yes. So the motion, if Commissioner Kirk and Strickland are okay with that, They are in fact authorizing the chair and the county clerk to execute basically the transfer back to those individual property owners by way of a quick claim deed. Any problem, Commissioner Kirk? You okay with that?
Yes, I'm fine with that.
Commissioner Strickland? Very good. Okay. Any other questions on this road? The vote then to abandon Andrew Adams Road is to Commissioner Strickland.
Yes.
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 Thank you. Okay, on to the second road on the list was Ray O'Kelly Road. Ray O'Kelly has 5 parcels on this road, and I will offer the same opportunity by way of we'll open up a hearing and allow anybody here tonight that would choose to speak for or against the county abandoning the maintenance of Ray O'Kelly Road. And we'll open the floor if anybody would like.
Jesse Williams, I live on Ray O'Kelly Road. Would we be able to close the road? Because I'm having problem with people dumping trash in the bottom, and that's the whole reason I wanted to have the road closed. Can we put up a road closed sign and stop through traffic?
Put up gates.
Put up gates? Okay.
So again, I'm going to defer because of the previous discussion with our county attorney. The question is would the current property owners, if in agreement, be able to physically close that road?
Right. If in agreement, they can do anything they want. Now, Mr. Williams, so everybody will get a quit claim deed to the center line of the road.
Correct.
For the part adjacent to yours. So, Mr. Williams, across the road, so you'll have to the center line across the road from you is Mr. Ray N. O'Kelly. So the two of you would have to cooperate on putting the gate up there. And then, of course, people behind there could argue for an easement, although on this one, all the properties either have access on Cowart Tool Road or on Cole Davis Road. So nobody should be landlocked or affected by closing this one.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
They say you pick on it.
And then, Mike,
Sure, John, how are you doing?
do good.
This road, I've lived on this road, Coley Davis Road. The dirt road ends up on this from, I don't know where it starts at. There's a paved end.
What's that road called?
It's Cowart Tool and Coley Davis.
So there's 5 of us on property on it. I think every one of us said the same exact situation. We get tired of carrying everybody in the county's couches to dump. We get tired of picking up the trash. We get tired of people parking for hours, even at the end of the dirt road, staring onto my property. I have 2 young children. I don't want people sitting at the end of the dirt road watching us or watching my kids play. I mean, it's just a little creepy. But I've already talked to the other land owners. I haven't had a chance to talk to you yet, but we can take it over. We'll buy it, whatever we need to do, whatever is proposed. But I'm unopposed to it being.
You support abandoning.
I support abandoning 100%.
Okay.
All right.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Your purchase just includes paying taxes on up to the center line. So,
And we all have to do that, don't we?
yeah. No, thank you. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. Okay. Ms. Thompson?
Yes, I'm Linda Thompson, and my husband Perry and I live at the corner of Coley Davis Road and Ray O'Kelly. And I am tired, as Mike said, of picking up garbage. I'm also tired of pit bulls and deer and unknown animals being dumped in the creek or along the side of the road. And my grandchildren play along there. And again, it's just not very desirable. I don't know this for sure, but when 2 cars pull up in the dead of night and they're there for 2 or 3 minutes and they each leave a different way, I'm thinking something has gone down. And to me, that's a safety issue as well. And so I'm very much for abandoning this road.
Okay. All right. Very good. Thank you, ma'am. Anybody else care to speak? Going once, twice. All right. We'll close the public hearing portion and we'll turn this over to the commissioners then for a vote. Again, this road was brought to the commissioners. The desire was to abandon. So we will open the floor now for the commissioners to vote to not only abandon Ray O'Kelly Road, but to authorize the chair and the clerk to facilitate the quitclaim deed, deeding that property back to the current property owners or adjacent property owners.
I'll make a motion to abandon, Mr. Chairman.
Say,
I have Commissioner Strickland with a motion and Commissioner Doster with a second. Any comments, questions from the commissioners at this point on Ray O'Kelly Road?
And Mr. Chairman, since you have 3 of the 5 owners there, I'll just repeat just to make sure everybody understands. If the 5 owners agree, I mean, you can put up chains, gates, or you can hire heavy equipment to plow that road under and turn it back into your lawns or pastures or whatever you want. It's yours now.
Okay.
We'll take it.
They seem to be good with that. So we appreciate in some circumstances, this is the best course or the majority rule would determine this. So any other comment from commissioners on this? I have a motion and a second to approve abandoning. The vote then would start with Commissioner Bettis.
Yes.
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 We have abandoned, the county has abandoned the maintenance of Ray O'Kelly Road.
Happy ownership.
There you go. Okay, our last road on the list, and I'm sorry, I should have shared with everybody, if you're here for that purpose, you're more than welcome to go enjoy the rest of your evening if that suits you. Okay. Our last road is again a portion of O'Kelly Road that would begin at US Highway 98, and it terminates at the intersection with Short Seagraves. So with that, I'm going to open a public hearing portion of this to entertain any comment or suggestion, any input from somebody who would like to speak on whether to approve or not approve abandoning this portion of Ray O'Kelly Road, or O'Kelly Road, my bad, O'Kelly Road. And I have somebody coming forward here, please.
I am Madge Stewart.
Madge.
Madge Stewart, okay.
I really do not want the road abandoned.
Okay.
I probably have the longest road frontage on that road. I'm on a hill. If the ditches are not cleaned out, the water comes across my yard, and I'm old and barely can do my yard work, much less maintain a road.
Okay.
And you know, I go out both ways of the road. My family lives one way, and then if I'm going to Commerce, I go the other way. So I use the road a lot. And I don't see any problem with it. So that's my 29 cents worth.
Okay, better than 2.
And I do pay taxes, and for them taxes, I should have, I pay a lot of taxes. The road maintained.
Okay, we're going to put you down as a no, then to abandon, if I understand correctly. Is there anybody else that would like to speak? Got 2. I'll get you in a second here, sir. Go ahead, please. No, yes, sir.
What part of the road we're talking about closing? What section of the road you talking about closing?
So first of all, tell me who you are and where you live, sir.
Sir,
Tell me who you are.
I'm William D. Barber. I own the property up next to Highway 98. I got a store and a car wash there.
Okay, right at 98.
Right at 98.
Okay.
I know, I probably the senior owner on the property joining Oak Kelly Road. I've been there since '84. And
Okay.
I think I'm senior owner on it.
So,
Pay tax on it
so
since
his
'84.
name is William Barner, and he owns the property, which is at the corner of 98 and Oak Kelly Road.
Right.
Okay.
Now, what
So-
section you talk about closing?
So what was proposed to the county was to abandon where your property is,
Mhm.
moving south towards Short Seagraves Road, that intersection where
Are
it
you gonna
crosses.
close it off at 98?
It would be, that's what is before the board tonight, is to consider closing it from 98 to Short Seagraves. Yes, sir.
But you'll block it off on 98, is that correct?
County will not block anything off. All
Or
they
can
would
I
do-
block it off?
unless, well, Miss Madge Stewart, would probably oppose you, if I understood her interest in this was to keep that road open. So the property owners at that point would have to agree to do whatever you're gonna do with your private property. But the county is just asking, would those property owners on this portion of Oak Kelly Road want to have the county cease to maintain that road, that section?
Right.
So, but that the county is not in the business of blocking or shutting down a road. That's up to you. We just won't put in a piece of
Well,
county equipment on it.
I know you say you gotta close a portion of it. My
Right.
question is, what portion are you talking about closing?
Your property, the Short Seagraves Road,
The whole road?
that section, well, the whole road, Oak Kelly Road continues on down past Short Seagraves. But I'm just saying that portion that goes from 98 to Short Seagraves of Oak Kelly Road, yes, sir. That's the portion that is being considered tonight.
Right.
So,
Well, I know you said if you abandoned it, you sell the property back to the property owners.
not sell it. You won't have to pay anything. Well, you will have to pay. You'll have to pay property tax, but you would regain that property that is under the roadway right
In
now.
other words, it'd be offered a road right of way easement. so to
Yes,
speak.
sir. That is correct.
All right, in that case, if you abandoned it, would you be obligated to give the people down the road a road right of way easement to the property?
I don't believe that's correct. No, sir.
You wouldn't have to, would you?
No, sir.
Well,
There.
potentially,
So,
if I can jump in, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
So that's the prescriptive easement the chairman was talking about at the beginning of this. So if people have been using that road, for the required period of time, 7 years under color of title or 20 years without, and regularly and continuously and all that, then they have a prescriptive easement. If it's their only access, they can also get a statutory easement that's 20 feet in width. So that's why the chairman's saying that you really can't block it off unless everybody on the road agrees to it.
So you would have to.
All right.
Well, where would it benefit the property owners that they abandoned it then? Because at that time, they're gonna have to maintain it themselves, whereas the county maintains it, would benefit the property owner to abandon it.
Right. The benefit would be, and trust me, this wouldn't even be talked about tonight, except that somebody has suggested they would rather not have people coming down their property or coming by their property.
Right.
The benefit is that if at some point in time, that road will probably become a little difficult to traverse, to make it through. But still, the county is not interested, and the county would never have an interest in blocking that road.
Right.
It just becomes your property out to the center line.
But
of
it's
that
still,
road.
in other words, it's your property, but it's not your property, because still gotta give easement to the people down below you. So really, it's not your property at that time.
Right.
That's what I'm getting at.
Right.
And
So-
I've had that thing since '84. We've made dust that store ever since '84.
Right.
And I would like to do away with it, really. But if you're gonna have to give easement to the property owners, and you can't do with, in other words, you can't use it for your personal need, then I see no reason to abandon it. I vote no.
Very good. Very good, sir. Yes, sir.
May I stay here? May I?
If you'll just what's your name, man?
Sharon Chitwood,
Gotcha.
you don't have me on your list.
Right, because your property doesn't adjoin that road.
Right, but if somebody wanted to, I could definitely be landlocked. But my thought is, of course, I'm 71. I don't own a road scrape or a dump truck for gravel. Wouldn't know how to use them. I could drive the truck, but a road scrape, not my thing. And I worry about, if the road became, where it was in bad shape, what's gonna happen if my house catches on fire, if I need an ambulance or whatever. I do oppose abandoning that road.
You don't have to have property on this road to speak out. It's a public hearing, so you're very, very much within your right to do that. So no problem at all.
But you actually live on.
Yeah, but I
She-
live on the road.
She has an easement, I believe, across her son's property, if I
Right.
understand it correctly, so.
It used to be mine.
Right. That's fine. That's,
How that goes.
would there be anybody else here tonight that would like to speak one way or the other about this? Heard 3 that voted no. If there's nobody else, what I'll do is we'll go ahead and close the public portion of this, the public hearing portion. And the commissioners, then I'll present this to them. Again, the agenda item was to abandon that road, that portion of Kelly Road. And with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and open the floor to the commissioners to entertain a motion one way or the other.
Chairman.
Go ahead.
Chairman, I'll go ahead and start. I think the first 2 are pretty cut and dry for abandonment. I think this is pretty cut and dry to keep it as a county road. We've talked about landlocking and things like that. People using it. Three folks that talk, they're all in opposition of abandoning this road. My question is if we're not going to abandon it, do we need a motion to keep it a county road, or we just let the
Just make a
decision
motion.
die?
Make a motion to oppose abandoning the road.
Okay, well, I'll make that motion.
Okay, I have a motion to oppose abandoning it. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a second.
May I ask a question? Would it,
They're helping you out here right now. I just want to make sure you understand that, so.
oh, I know that.
Okay.
No. Is there any way we could get speed signs, like 10 mile an hour?
That's a different discussion. That's a different
That's a
discussion.
different time
It
and
is,
place.
it is, but I'd certainly entertain the discussion on it, okay? So,
Tell
I have a
them to
motion.
call me. And
Yeah,
I'll talk to Alan for him.
so I have a motion and a second to oppose abandoning this road. Is there any further discussion from our commissioners?
I can support the motion. It seems like there's enough concern and that it can be picked up at a later date if it's the most, or if the attitude changes, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Any other comment?
Just to be clear, a yes vote here is to oppose abandoning. I just want to make sure everybody's on the same
True
page.
statement. So,
Okay.
I
I don't want us when we say
to say it correctly.
I don't want to say yes and everybody, oh, I thought they were doing. I just want to make sure everybody knows what direction we're moving.
No, we're going to start with Commissioner Kirk, and the motion and the second are to oppose abandoning it. So if you choose to oppose it, a yes vote would suffice.
I
Commissioner,
vote yes.
go ahead.
I
sir.
vote yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
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 So they
Thank you,
voted
commissioners.
not to abandon that portion of Ray of Oak Kelly. I'm sorry. So
Too many O'Kellys.
well, I can't say that. People get angry with me too if I say it. So, but I take your point. So they voted not to abandon that portion. So, all right. Is that clear? Okay.
Everything stays as is on that.
All right. Okay.
And Mr. Chairman, I'll get those quitclaim deeds drafted and send those to you and Rhonda to sign.
Okay. And that would be for the 2 roads that were approved. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Thank you, sir. All right, folks. We have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 agenda items. For those of you who care to stay, you're welcome to. If you choose not to, it'd be a pretty good time to make it before it gets any colder outside. We have items number 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 on our agenda as agenda items that will be discussed and voted on here tonight. For those that have agendas, that's fine. I've got to read them if you don't have it, though. We have a contract with Mobile Communication of America. We have a position, our rec department director, that the commissioners will vote on. An increase, proposed increase to our fee at the transfer station for the bag trash. Special event policy at the rec department. And then we have 2 appointments to our planning and zoning commission. So at this point, I'm going to open the floor for anybody to make a statement or remark on those 6 items on our agenda. Those 6 items. All right. We'll go ahead and move on then. First old business item is to consider approving a contract with Mobile Communication America. I know that this has been discussed for several weeks, probably into the months category. Approximate $1 million expense to the county, and this is the impetus of this contract, though, is to improve our 911 communication system. So a contract, or the decision was made at our last meeting to move forward with Mobile Communication America. We did not have a contract. It's my understanding, and I'll yield the floor here to Captain Brennan Baird, and for I don't even want to be humorous, but say for the defense, I turn it over to our county attorney. They have worked this contract, and what I'd like to do, though, is to make sure tonight's order of business, though, is to approve a contract with Mobile Communication America for this solution to our 911 system. And what I'll do is I'm going to start with Captain Brennan Baird, our 911 director, and at least let him bring us up to speed to where they are with the contract, and then we'll get into the vote on it and any clarification from our county attorney. So with that, Captain Baird, go ahead.
Well, I'm going to try to keep it simple and short, just because I didn't want to be here next week for the super long one either. But our time has come down to a crunch time where we have to move forward in order to make this specific process happen at this time. There is no better time. I applaud the commissioners for helping me find a way to get this to this point. I know y'all have heard and listened at and seen and heard some more for a few months, but this is about a 2.5-year project for me. So I've had some frustrations. Yes. Oh, look, if the county paid me by the phone call, they couldn't afford me. It's just the blunt honesty of it. There were a lot of things that happened based on our research, all of the legwork we did trying to find the best solution for our problem, which is creating a safe and effective way for law enforcement, for fire, for EMS to communicate with each other and with dispatch and get the help to the county residents that they need. We dug and looked at several counties, looked at several projects, looked at several companies, and we landed on this as our best solution based on cost versus benefit and the reviews from the existing customers for this type system. So again, to keep what is a very long story somewhat shorter, we did decide to go with Mobile Communications of America. You guys voted to barter with them until we get the best deal possible. We started with a little over $1 million project. We shaved off about $110,000 of that, not to mention the Mobile Communications being extremely receptive to our issues. We'll be donating as part of that cost savings 55 radios to the volunteer fire department so that we don't have to find the funding to make those radios come to fruition. There will still be more. So there's still some budgetary questions to iron out for sure. But after much legwork, many phone calls, many emails, amongst more folks than I can count, we have come to this contract, which by my math is about 100 and some odd pages total with all the attachments and everything included. I know Mike had a call this afternoon. I was on that call basically as a spectator to make sure everything got clarified and cleared up, and finally we got what I believe is a workable contract for everybody. And I would ask that the county vote to approve that contract and use the existing SPLOST money that the voters set aside for this project back in November, plus the existing 2013 SPLOST funds that are left over, and then the remaining balance of that for the volunteer fire department's radios either come out of the general fund, which would be my preference or my proposal, but that's on y'all to decide for sure. Otherwise, I would ask that the fire department share a portion of that burden out of their SPLOST money to fund the rest of the radios.
So what I would ask just is to try to facilitate the discussion, commissioners, you'll be asked to vote on this contract as presented. And if there are questions, or if the county attorney, Mike, would offer any clarification or any, his assessment of it. I believe, I witnessed the email exchanges and what have you. I've had conversations with some of our local fire departments as late as this afternoon that perhaps that did not have that in front of them. But, there was, I believe the interest, and what I understood from them was just understanding what the requirement would be from them. So, or what the ask would be. So again, in the commissioners' consideration in their vote would be to not only approve a contract, but would also be to determine how the funding would play out for those items that are not covered under that contract. So I'll open up the floor to the commissioners if they have questions or comments.
Yeah, Chairman, I guess my question is, how many, the funds that would cover the fire department, that's either got to come out of the general fund or out of the SPLOST money for the fire departments? What is that amount now?
Roughly, it'll be around 110,000.
Okay.
Chairman,
That's for the total amount for all 11 departments.
All 11. Okay. Got you.
Chairman, my thoughts is when it comes to the fire department's paying, just my opinion, I believe if we don't pay for the fire department's radios now and they have to pay for that, they'll be coming back to us later for money for other things. So either we pay out of the general fund for this now, or we pay out of the general fund for stuff later. And I would rather pay out of the general fund for these radios and let them have their budgetary money to get their equipment and the things they need in a quicker manner, so they can, get those things faster than having to come and ask for our approval and things like that. They can use that 60%. I'd hate to take some of their money away from them and then have to, put it back out there. So like I said, if either we pay now or we pay later, and I'd rather pay now, just my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm in agreement with Lee.
I am too.
Any, so I understand the sentiments on the balance. Back to the original contract, are there any questions, any clarifications that need to be made on what was presented as a final contract to the Board of Commissioners?
I've got a couple. The answer to one, appreciate it. I noticed in reading the documents, the start date and completion date are not identified because we hadn't inked the contract, but could you remind us what your anticipated completion timeframe would be?
3 to 4 months. 4 months being worst case scenario, 3 months being the most likely scenario.
Okay, so in 4 months,
Yes.
this goes to my next question. In 4 months, we should be in a spot, and if I remember reading this correctly in the information, you've probably been fast, we'll have 3 tower sites that will give us complete coverage across the county.
That's correct.
All right. And then the other thing I want to make sure that we're doing is in the contract documents, it talks about, I want, for lack of better terminology, an audit to verify the system's in compliance with our requirements.
Right.
And I just want to make sure that that is done via, you can call it a audit team, you can call it a bunch of guys riding around and checking it. I don't care what you call it, but part of this motion, I want it to be a multidisciplinary effort from law enforcement side, fire department side, EMS side. I want it to be a complete understanding of those components. I just want that to be.
And how do you want that worded in the motion?
A multidisciplinary audit team to verify accuracy of what we buy.
And
Just make a motion.
And that's what we have to do before we sign off that this is as prepared or as proposed before we move on to the next section.
And I'm not saying that y'all wouldn't. I just want to
Absolutely.
make sure, from a public standpoint, the publicity of this is a large purchase.
It is.
So I just want to make sure that all our departments that are going to be using it have an opportunity to weigh in and make sure that they feel comfortable and not just be given something to hand out and say,
Right.
here it is. This is what you got.
Absolutely.
And to prove I read most of it, the project number's not listed on exhibits E and F. But y'all can fix that at a later date.
I'll say it probably is in one of the versions. We'll go back and make sure it is.
But also, I appreciate the opportunity to look at it. I mean, I know we sometimes, it means a lot to me to make sure we get it right.
I appreciate
And on
So-
that timing, Mr. Chairman, if I can just chime in, we do have that MCA's performance begins within 14 days after the county issues its purchase order. So we need to not forget to go ahead and process that purchase order and get it over to Mr. Hunter so that that triggers the timeline to start.
That's right.
Will do.
And I just, for clarification, I guess, Mike, all the emails that you sent and the questions you had are answered in this latest contract. Is that correct?
That's correct. A lot of it had to do with just figuring out what the different warranties are and how they interact with the maintenance agreement. But I think we have all that sorted out now. You basically got a 1-year warranty from MCA on everything. Then you've got a manufacturer's warranty that varies. It's 1 year on some things, it's 5 years on other things. And of course, all those components, just to summarize what you're voting on. So you're buying all these different components for $956,000 and change. And then the maintenance service agreement is also a part of the contract you're approving. That is roughly $51,000 a year. That gets you, 24/7, 365 response time on not on your mobiles and radios, but on the infrastructure stuff. Also gets you the software upgrades. Mr. Hunter will correct me if I'm leaving anything out. It does, and so that automatically renews at that same price for 5 years. You can cancel it at the end of any calendar year if you want to, and we made sure we got that language in there. So yeah, that's what you're approving is the purchase for $956,000 and the annual maintenance agreement for $51,000.
Very good.
So any other comments? So in my simplified language, see if I can put together a motion here that you could either repeat or you could just say so moved. So if I understood correctly, we're looking for a motion to approve the contract as presented, contingent upon the Board of Commissioners multi-departmental sign off on testing and approval of technical specifications. Is that too detailed? There are items in this contract that I noticed that there are thresholds. So again, upon testing or upon verification, if they meet those, I believe that would satisfy. Does that sound sufficient?
And that's actually not a contingency, Mr. Chairman. That's just a detail in section 4.2 of the contract. So the final payment would be made on system acceptance. And it says those acceptance tests will be performed by staff of MCA along with staff designated by Madison County. So I think what Commissioner Doster's doing is just specifying what staff Madison County is designating to be part of that team.
Okay. Okay.
And that is in section 4.2 enumerated that it has to meet specifications that we already set forth before we move to the next stage in that process. Okay. And so that section would include multiple disciplines to sign off on.
Okay.
Is that,
I'm good.
okay. So we're just kind of approving the contract and then we need to talk about the money.
So the motion then would be to approve the contract as presented, if those provisions are included in that section 4. And then again, with respect to those items not covered, I don't know if that's a separate action that the board would want to take under, but again, it does not address those shortfalls or the equipment or whatever that needs the equipment that needs to be purchased that is not covered under this contract to make this system whole.
Or I guess what I heard was their support to pull it from the general fund, and that should be part of the motion because when you hit the PO, you want it to be a complete purchase agreement.
I have 3 commissioners that voice that. Is that going to be the consensus? Do you want that in the motion?
Yeah.
Okay. So motion then would be to approve the contract as presented with the balance of the required equipment or infrastructure to be pulled from the general fund. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
So I have a motion by Commissioner Doster and Commissioner Allen, Commissioner Strickland barely beat you on that one. So we have a motion and a second. Are there any other comments?
Do I need to be specific in this with 2014 SPOS and 2020 SPOS? And then balance from general fund?
I didn't hear from SPLOST. I heard from general fund. That's why I was asking very
Well,
specific.
Right. Because from the 2020 SPLOST, and then there was we still have a balance in the 2013 or 14 SPLOST.
From 911
That's correct.
specifically.
That's
okay.
correct.
Okay. And that would be fine too then. If you want to basically make the motion to exhaust those funds from 2014 and 2020 SPLOST, the balance coming from the general fund.
Right.
Okay. Commissioners Doster and Strickland, are you comfortable with that?
Yes.
Okay. Motion has been made in a second. Any further discussion on this? The vote then is to Commissioner Kirk.
Yes.
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 Very good. Wow.
Mr. Chairman,
Appreciate it.
Please, go ahead.
Chairman, I just want to say before Brennan left, I just want to say thank you to him. And this, in my 4 years on this board, I think this is the most due diligence we've ever went through. It's probably the longest contract I've read or looked through. Let me be honest. And I appreciate Mike. We have a great county attorney. He did a good job. I think everybody made a great decision here, and look forward to seeing the new safety procedures and all the things we have, all the bells and whistles. So hopefully I get to see it before I get out of here.
We appreciate it. I
All
do.
right.
And I apologize for any bad words I might have come up with and aimed at you.
All right.
Thanks, Ray.
Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mike.
Item number 7 on our agenda for the board to consider tonight is to formally promote Ms. Shelley Parham to the Recreation Department Director position, making that effective tomorrow, December 1st. The proposed salary was $47,500, and a provision for a $700 per month supplement for those months that she has served in an interim role, which would conclude tomorrow as well. So with that, I'll open up the floor for a motion to approve.
So moved, Chairman.
I have a motion
Second.
and a second from Commissioner Kirk. Any comments or discussion on this?
Chairman, I will say that Shelley's been doing a fabulous job over there, in my opinion. Very professional, taking care of things. Definitely the attitude and leadership I believe that we need in Madison County. She's loyal. She's willing to work as hard as it is need be. She's shown us that with all these months, and I think she deserves the opportunity to show us more of what she can do. I grew up in the rec department, played all-stars, all kinds of stuff, and I'm telling you that, you know, it can be just as good as it was when I was back in the day, and I think Shelley can take us there, and hopefully she'll stick around for a while. So I hope the other commissioners will support her in this decision.
Very well. Any other comment? All right. Motion to approve promoting / hiring Shelley as the Recreation Department Director with the salary and supplement that was mentioned. The vote then is to Commissioner Doster.
Yes.
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 Very good. Long time coming, huh? All right.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. That's right.
Absolutely.
Next item, we have a, let's see. Oh yeah, I've got Alan online here, I think. An item was introduced at our last meeting to consider increasing the cost of the dropping off a bag of trash at our transfer station. So for those that may or may not have been following, costs of a lot of things have gone up, but it's been close to 20 years since the cost of our bag fee, for lack of a better term to call it, has been considered. So it's been there for the better part of at least 15 years. And our cost to transfer, we don't have everybody calls it a dump. We don't have a dump. We don't have a landfill anymore. We have a transfer station, which means we don't put it in the ground. We haul it to somebody else's ground. Those people that have space that want to put it in the ground are charging more. So all we're trying to do is cover the cost of basically to do this, try to zero it out. And in many ways, without being too tacky about it, the push is for those that would choose to go across the scales, they're paying a per pound fee. Perhaps that's a more accurate way to do it, but for the convenience of not having to do that, we have handling, we have all these other things. And it's amazing how much you can put into a 33-gallon bag. if that is in fact what it is that they're dumping. But the effort, though, purely and simply as presented by Alan Lipsinski last meeting, was to try to offset the cost of what it costs the county to take this to regional landfills. And that's what this is about. The cost would be to move a typical bag of trash. We have it currently at 33 gallons at $1. We charge 50 cents now. January 2nd is the proposed date to increase to $1 a bag. And with that, I'll open the floor for any motion to approve or to remain constant, whatever the board's desire is. But we'll open the floor for the commissioners to make a motion to address the cost of at least the bag trash at the transfer station.
Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve the increase as suggested by our Public Works Director.
And that's $2 for over 33.
Right. So, and there's a commensurate charge for the larger bags that would be presented. I don't know what the amount was.
$2.
Well, the amount was $2, but as far as the size of the bag,
Over 33.
over 33. Okay. So, and listen, folks, our folks down at the transfer station aren't out there measuring anything. It's just if it takes 4 people to get it off your truck, you're probably going to pay $2 for that bag. That's just the way it is. So, but beyond that, 33 gallon is the standard we've been using. We're looking to go to $1.33 or $2 more for bags larger than that. So I have a motion from Commissioner Allen to approve.
I'll second.
Commissioner Doster second. And with that, we'll open, entertain comment. And again, I want us to go back and stress, this is a convenience thing, largely on the bag trash. So any comments from the commissioners?
Yeah, Chairman, like I said last meeting, I'm for this because it's a long time coming. I think we're a little bit behind the 8 ball when it comes to where our prices are. Another thing too is in my research, when I brought it up a few years ago, sitting over there's a lot of tags coming from other counties and things like that. And I think maybe we can pick up some cash or maybe even, I'm not trying to run anybody off per se, but maybe we can, keep it to the people that need to be using that transfer station and not all the surrounding counties so they can drive over there and get a cheaper rate. So I definitely want to support this, and I hope the other commissioners do too.
Okay.
I just appreciate Alan bringing it to our attention for consideration to rectify probably something for tipping fees that should have been addressed probably before now.
We're a little behind in doing this, but that's fine. Any final comment? Vote is to Commissioner Allen.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
It's kind of like savings, folks. Dump early, dump often before the end of the year. Okay. Item number 9, we're into the new business. This is a rec department item as well. The board's consideration is to approve a special event policy for the rec department. Each of you received a copy of that. And we're just trying to be inclusive. The county has been approached and is being approached for consideration use of facilities for special events and what have you. As with anything else in 2020, there are always liability issues, there are cost issues associated with it. And all we're trying to do is to make sure that we're covered in those items. So this policy, this special event policy was aimed to address those items. And again, each of you have had a copy of this. I believe County Attorney Mike Pruitt has had a chance to look at this and has vetted for the most part the consistency of this policy with those that are already in place. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, yeah, I just want to say Ms. Parham did a great job of putting all this together. She allowed me to review it, and I made just a few minor tweaks for clarification. So, yeah, it's good to go from my standpoint.
Very good. I'll open the floor for any consideration on a motion to approve the special event policy then for the rec department. And I assume, Shelley, are we looking at a 1 January date? Is there a date on that?
Yeah, it would be effective January 1st.
January the 1st. Okay, effective date.
So move, Chairman.
Commissioner Allen, I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Bettis, thank you. Any further comment on this?
Yeah, Commissioner. Go ahead.
Commissioner Kirk?
I was just going to ask, does this include any event? I mean, is this one where you're just using the fields, or would this be that if you were like using the pavilion down there or whatever, you know, and that was the only thing, if you weren't using any fields or anything? The reason I'm asking that is because, like, one of the caveats in there is that I think there's no fee at all charged if it's a county, related organization, but it could be like if it's a volunteer fire department or a Rotary Club or something that is using that, there is a fee associated with that. And I'm just wanting a little clarification on that. I guess if you're using the fields, I can sort of understand that you would charge the 50 and or whatever, and have the that you would need the person there. But I just had a question about that.
Okay, so are you talking like just, like as far as pavilion rentals and just normal field rentals for like practice and stuff like that? That is a completely different form. That's just a general rental form. This policy is geared towards the larger events, like tournaments. We've had calls about having softball tournaments, baseball tournaments, things like that, or 3-on-3 basketball tournaments, or just if, say the animal shelter or somebody who's a 501c3 wants to do a fundraiser, that kind of thing. So that's what this policy is geared towards, not just general use of the facilities.
I got you. All right, very good.
So, and to further that one more, if it's the distinction between a county or a county organization versus, we have had and are receiving, I believe, increasing requests from agencies outside the county to use facilities and what have you. And that's where a lot of this comes into, whether it's the old gymnasium here or a field or what have you. So I believe that was I believe the attempt was just to have something in place so that we're not addressing that on the fly and being arbitrary with one organization as compared to another. So any other clarification? Commissioner Doster, you had something?
I had a question. I don't remember where I circled it. Is the document put before I guess the question I really had, or one of the questions I had, the statement in here regarding the nonprofits and providing financial information. Help me understand that clause just to make sure they are a nonprofit, or how?
Yeah,
I don't want somebody to think we're getting to the weeds.
So
Article 10.
Article 10.
Yeah, it's Article 10 of the contract in the back. So that's just basically to say that they're not using it just to, they're fundraising for an actual organization, for a cause, rather than just for themselves.
Rather than a GoFundMe
And
type.
yeah, we don't
Okay.
want just somebody to say, oh, we're doing, we're gonna do a fundraiser for, just for instance, for a cancer patient or something like that, and then they're just like pocketing it instead. So just in case, obviously, we're taking a lot at just the word of the organizing body who wants to do an event. But if anything, as far as questions came up, then that would give us the opportunity to be able to see that. And it's the same similar thing that we have for all of our other facility use agreements and stuff.
And then the other question I have was if in the insurance requirement, if an organization, 50, a small group, if you would, do you think they'd have trouble meeting the insurance requirements, or is this pretty standard fare across the industry type stuff?
It's pretty standard, and it's not really that hard. I've talked to, JD Woods, Sarah Woods, they have to get liability insurance for different events that they do, and it's roughly like $50 to get a policy like that.
Okay.
So.
No problem. No, I'm good.
Very good. Anybody have anything else for Shelley? All right, thank you, Shelley. So I have a motion from Commissioner Allen, a second from Commissioner Bettis, then to approve the special event policy as you have it presented to you, commissioners, for the rec department. If there are no other questions, the vote is to Commissioner Strickland.
Yes.
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 Yes. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay, very good. So that's approved, and that'll go into effect January the 1st. Items number 10 and 11, if the commission decides to, they would choose to do this, we can take these together, but we have two recurring appointments. Dwayne Bruno and Lamar Houston currently serve on the Planning and Zoning Commission. We have two new commitments that will need to be addressed, but at least before you tonight, or to approve reappointing these two gentlemen, Dwayne Bruno and Lamar Houston. They've both been approached. They both agreed to serve, and if it's the board's desire to do so, we can, I believe we can approve items number 10 and 11 together, or we'll break them out separately if the board chooses, but that's what's before you tonight. We'll open the floor for a motion on those two.
I'll make a motion to approve both of them.
I have a motion to approve both Dwayne Bruno and Lamar Houston.
Second.
We have multiple, I think I heard Commissioner Doster race out in front on that one. Any comments or question on those two appointments? And again, we will have a decision to make for Terry Chandler, who will be coming off that board, and we still have a vacant seat that we will need to fill too. So there's still two that will be coming up, but
I'll say that I appreciate Chairman Houston. He's been a delight to work with.
I agree.
Right.
So
and I'll be getting that one for District 4 soon.
okay, very good. And then we'll have a District 2 appointment as well. So
Be his job.
yeah. So, all right, so we have a motion and a second to approve Dwayne Bruno and Lamar Houston. The vote is to Commissioner Bettis.
Yes.
Commissioner Kirk?
Yes.
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 All right, folks, we're through with the business items. We're on to roads updates. Any items of interest with regard to roads throughout the county right now?
Yes, Chairman. I've got over in District 1, we're working on Crabapple Hollow. We're working on that culvert. They're putting that in. The road is closed on that right lane there. And make sure anybody that goes down that road, if they do have to travel that road, they do have it closed down there. So you're going to have to go down to the next road and cut around. You guys know how to get there. So just make sure you know about that. Stapler Road, we took it in not too long ago. I talked to Derek today. I just want to let those people over there on that road know that they'll be getting over to put some gravel and things like that as soon as we can. And just to remind people, we had a lot of things on our list this year that we wanted to get done. But when you have 12 washouts, it takes a lot of time, especially when you're really, in my opinion, completely understaffed at that road department. This county needs more road crew. It needs to step up and get more people over there to do more jobs. And if we ever do that, I think we can get back on top of what we're doing. But until then, we're always going to be a little bit behind when we have all these emergencies happen, especially as many as we've had this year. So I just wanted to make sure everybody knew what was going on and just know we're not being lazy or anything like that. We're trying to get the things in a priority situation as fast as we can. So just please just bear with us, continue to bear with us, and hopefully we'll catch up.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I've had calls about Hilly Road and Old Royston Road, and I'll get with the guys on that, but I just want to mention that. And also,
Hilly and Old Royston.
Old Royston.
Okay.
And also several calls from Wesley's Chapel Circle Drive. Yeah, again, about us taking them on.
Right.
So I think we made some room for them tonight.
I believe so.
I guess y'all will speak to that when we get to 14.
Yeah. Hold that thought 1 second here. I'll get to it. If we're gonna get to it, I promise you. So any other updates as far as from the commissioners?
My pothole list, Alan and Derek, I forgot it tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Commissioner Kirk.
Okay. I had emailed Alan about Goss Road over there, and I think that's a part of Derek's district or whatever. About and I think a lot of it's the sheriff's department about them dumping and some other things over there. But they had talked about road signs, and I think we found out that road is actually listed as a 40-mile-per-hour road. To get road signs, do we have to run it through the state, or is that something the county can do, or how does that happen exactly?
So we do have to coordinate, and I believe Alan's still on here, but we do coordinate with the state. If you change the speed limit, it's not as arbitrary as us just going out and taking up a sign and putting a new one down. I can tell you that. Right.
And I guess I'm asking Alan, did he find any signs on that road?
On Goss Road, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they were saying they didn't think there were any speed limit signs at all. So I don't know.
We'll I'll put it down and we'll check on that. Okay.
We can look at it.
Go ahead, Alan.
We can check on that for him and everything. If y'all approve to put 40, we can go ahead and put 40 as long as that's the speed limit sign y'all want on that road.
Well, yeah, Rhonda had just said that was what it was listed as. So I'm I guess that needs to be verified, but that's what I was going by. They just said they had a lot of people walking that road, and they had issues with people very high speed, and they just didn't have any signs at all. So that's all I was trying to verify. I thought most of them were at least 45, but that's totally I'll go with whatever the road department sees is the best fit for that.
We'll check that one to be sure. I think we had a request earlier on Oak Kelly Road to see if they had a sign on that road too. So we'll check them all though. Okay, at least all those that were just mentioned.
Yeah, there's some default speed limits set in the Georgia code, and then if the commission wants to set something different than is in the law, then we have to basically get the road department to make do whatever they want to do, but some sort of analysis and make a recommendation to the board, and then you can approve that.
Okay. Anything else? Any urgent matters from the board?
Chairman, I'm sorry I couldn't get my mute button unmuted in time for you there.
Go ahead.
You never go that fast. That was quick.
Okay.
The O'Kelly Road is all dirt, right? And
it is.
And so we don't put speed limit signs on dirt roads.
Yeah.
We do
Or
have it
do
on-
we?
Yeah, we do have it on some dirt roads that I've seen.
Do we? Okay, because I just
Yeah.
never, I'm just sitting here, you know, in my 4 years, I've just never seen a speed limit sign on a dirt road. So I just wanted to, I just wanted to check and see, you know, Rhonda's road over there is the most immaculate road I've ever been on that's dirt. And so they probably got fountains and all kinds of stuff over there on that road. So I'm not, you know, but speed limit signs, I was just curious if that was even a possibility. Because like I said, I was kind of ignorant to that. I'm sorry.
And I'll defer to the road department, but I can tell you, I've been on some that transition from a dirt to a paved road, and a lot of those do have speed limit signs to, you know, to let you know. But I've got O'Kelly written down just as a reminder too. Anything else? We're at the point where we entertain statements and remarks from citizens on any item. And I'll open the floor up from anybody here or online. We still have about 10 people online. If anybody would like to make a comment or a statement regarding anything, we'll entertain that. We'd ask that they keep it 3 to 4 minutes, but we'll open up the floor at this time for anybody that wants to make a comment.
Commissioners, I'm Jerome Howell, and I live on Wesley Chapel Drive. The road's up for consider for the county takeover. And basically, in interest of time, we're all in agreement, those who live on the road. So if we're just here to entertain the questions that you may have for us.
So go. No, I was going to say, go ahead. I don't have any questions, and I don't know if any commissioner has any questions per se. This is typically a chance for you to speak or whatever. I would encourage anybody to reach out and address or contact their commissioner very specifically if they have anything. What I will tell you, unless I'm misstating this from what we when this was presented to start with as a road for consideration, there's a process. So our county attorney, he puts this road, or he puts it on a list, and the more than just the property owner's approval, it will require, I guess the in vogue statement these days is skin in the game.
Right.
So the county would request a portion of right of way, so that they can actually operate and maintain a certain width and not get on. I've become very accustomed and very familiar with that section of Georgia code that talks about road work on private property. And the first 4 words leads off, "It shall be unlawful." Now you can interpret a lot of things a lot of different ways, but you can't misstate that. It shall be unlawful. And I believe it goes on to say, for a county, a road superintendent, commissioner, or agent thereof to perform maintenance or construction on private property. So there will be that time where you'll be presented the opportunity to forego that little sliver of land out there at your road. To my knowledge, on Wesley Chapel, if I remember right, I don't think there was any opposition or there was any. I haven't heard of any on that road, so that would be one that I would think should be fairly low-hanging fruit. Just
Chairman.
Yes, go ahead.
Chairman, did we confirm? Because I remember on my list, and excuse me if I've forgotten, but on my list it was a District 1 road. Did we confirm that it was actually a District 2? It was wrong on our list here. Because on my list, Wesley's Chapel Drive is District 1 road, and so I'm just
go back and look. I had it written down when that discussion.
District 2.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, because my little list thing I got, you know.
They've been calling me.
And there are mistakes in here, you know, because humans are humans and they make mistakes. So I just wanted to confirm, and I don't want Commissioner Strickland doing any work that, you know, should be my work, to be honest with you.
No.
So I just wanted to make sure, because I had gotten some calls about it, and we figured it was District 2, and I said I need to follow up, make sure, because my list says 1, and so if you'll just follow up and just confirm for sure. It's District 1, and I appreciate everybody that's working on this, you know, and I'm all for it. But I just, like I said,
Lee, have you talked to Miss Debbie? Have you spoken to Miss Debbie Hamel?
Yes,
I have. she said she would do all the footwork, you know, as far
Okay,
as
okay,
getting everything out with the people and have it signed.
okay.
I'll follow up and we'll see which district it's in for sure, but.
Okay, and I'm
I'm
all, like I
all
said, I'm all
about having
for it.
more than one commissioner work on it, if that matters.
Yeah, well, you know me, I like to work, so,
Yeah.
whatever we need to do, so.
All right. Very good.
And Mr. Chairman, I believe that I sent, I think it was Rhonda, but I wouldn't swear to that, a form for a right-of-way deed that you can just fill in the county road number and give to the people there to sign. So usually we'd let some representative go collect those for us, get them witnessed and notarized, and then present it to the board for acceptance.
So that'll be forthcoming here pretty quick. You'll have a document to sign. You'll sign it just like it is on the deed.
Do you want them to do that before they vote to accept the road?
Well, we had a consensus, didn't we?
We did have a consensus moving forward to adopt the road. Whether or not you sign it now or whether you sign it later, I really don't think that date is really that important. The fact that there's a signed document with your signature and date as it appears on that deed, then in times past, the board would go out and try to get all signatures, or perhaps they would take a vote to adopt a road and then go out and get signatures. Truth be known, it makes no sense at all to go out and try to get signatures if we know up front that there's somebody there that does not want this to happen, unless this board is prepared to condemn that property and take it by force or take it by eminent domain, then they would not normally pursue that. So the preference would be to have signatures from those people before the board took any. They're not going to take formal action to physically adopt a road. They start the process to adopt a road, then go out and get these signatures. So there will be a formal acknowledgement that that road now falls under county maintenance at some meeting. So you should be getting that information or that document. You and what is it, 5 or 6 parcels?
4 owners actually live on the road, but there's one at the beginning of the road or 2 that may be affected.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay. So,
but we just want the ones who live there, driveways off that road.
Right.
Asked me to let you know we're willing to put skin in the game, so to speak.
Okay.
We're willing to.
Well, and
do
it makes
what
it easier.
takes to allow you to move forward.
Yeah.
So we're here for that. And if it helps, when I got the privilege to vote, I got the privilege to vote for District 2. If that matters. And I live on that road.
Yeah. And it is District 2.
Okay.
So I think to Commissioner Allen's question, then it probably does fall under District 2, but we'll confirm, and again, I appreciate it. You'll probably see that document here soon.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else care to speak tonight? There you go.
I'm still Drago Stanovich. I still live at 959 Highway 172, and it's good to see all of you. I'm here tonight, I guess mostly just to remind the board that the noise created by the GRP facility is unbearable for the people who live near the facility. And there's no other way to describe it. It's constant. Sometimes it's way louder than others. We all understand that atmospheric conditions can change that, the way the wind's blowing, but it is really unbearable for the people who live near the plant, and more needs to be done. We also know from talking to acoustical engineers that the noise has to be reduced inside the plant. Readings outside the plant would be helpful, but the noise has to be reduced inside the plant, and that can be done. You know, they just need to do the right study and figure out what needs to be done there, but it really needs to be done. I can't stress this enough. People are suffering. Thanksgiving morning, I got up, and here I'm speaking for the people that live around the plant, not just myself, but the noise was loud enough. I sent a message to Steve Daly that his plant was messing up my Thanksgiving, that I hoped he was having a nice, quiet, reflective Thanksgiving. It's something we that live near the plant could not have anymore because it's that loud and that disturbing almost all the time. So I guess, again, this is a reminder to the board. It'd be nice if you would do more 3 months ago it was on the agenda, and I know Derek has been working on that, but we really haven't heard anything as far as progress goes. We've approached GRP a number of times to meet with them and talk to them about what they could do, and we get nothing. So this silence that we hear is just the opposite of a problem that the noise is. It's terrible that nothing is being done. So I'm encouraging the board to do that. And there are two things we'd like to get the board to do, and this is an ongoing problem. Almost a year ago, last January, we presented some proposals to the board, things they can do. And I want to repeat a couple of them tonight that would really help the citizens who live near the plant be able to do something about the noise, where right now they're somewhat restricted. I read these out loud on the 27th of January last year. A lot of them have taken care of themselves, but the noise problem still exists. So what I'd like to see this board do, or what we would like to see the board do, is that you adopt a resolution recognizing that the Madison GRP plant has adversely affected the health and quality of lives of the citizens near the plant, that biomass plants like GRP pose health risks that the county will do everything it can to keep the citizens of Madison County safe. So what we're asking the board to do is pass a resolution like that to show your support for those people that are being affected directly and indirectly by the problems. They're mostly the noise. The other thing we'd like to have you do is rescind your change to the noise ordinance, which took industries out of what could be done. And I want to point out, before I read the resolution we did in January, Citizens United, the United States Supreme Court, has said that corporations are people, and what you did by rescinding, by changing that and adding that amendment that they'd be, excluded from the noise ordinance, you gave those people, GRP, something we don't have. And I think what you need to do is give that back to the people. So we're asking you again to rescind the amendment that changed the noise ordinance and allow GRP to have a power that we don't have. And I think that would help us solve the problem and give us an equal footing with GRP. And thank you very much.
Okay. Anyone else?
As Drago humorously said, I'll use your phrase, I am still Gina Ward that lives at 1709 Wagoner's Grove Church Road. To follow up with Drago in a completely different direction, what happens when a homeowner is trapped inside their home and cannot go outside? What can you do? Watch TV, cook, eat, or get on the computer. So for the last few months, because the noise has been horrific at our house, I have done a tremendous amount of personal research into why we're dealing with this problem. I've researched pollution, I've researched noise, I've researched creosote and C&D. But my newest vein of research has revealed very disturbing information to me, and I would like to share it with you this evening. I respectfully request of this board to remove Frank Ginn from the IDA. And I have reasons, and I have looked into this. Let me just give you my reasons. Number one, he represents 4 counties. His involvement in the IDA is overreaching his job as a state senator. Number two, he is apparently well compensated for his position on the IDA. And he's not even working full time. We know that he's going to be gone when the assembly's in session. His desire to have a biomass power plant in Madison County has racked up millions of dollars of debt for us. And we get $1 million in tax revenue. So how many years, if we apply all of that tax revenue towards the debt we accrued, bringing in a water line for GRP, that's at least 7 years if we were to apply all of that. But my fourth reason and my last reason is the one that just really stirred me up and why I came to you with it. He has accepted thousands of dollars in campaign contributions from biomass industries and their affiliated partners, including but not limited to, this is just the scratching at the surface, Sterling Energy Assets, located at 3465 Highway 198, Carnesville, Georgia. This is the address of the Franklin County Biomass Power Plant. Thousands of dollars. Virginia Renewable Power. Now, they are located at a very popular address for biomass industry. It's 2100 Southbridge Parkway, Birmingham, Alabama. And Twin Pines Mineral, located at the same address in Alabama. This company is the one that's making headlines right now because they want to mine the Okefenokee Swamp. Raymond Bean heads up that company. And when you research that one address and you research those biomass power plants, you will find the names begin to interlace, and you will find a web of people handing money to one another. And Frank Ginn is one of the recipients of that. This just is an obvious conflict of interest. And how can he be a representative of the citizens of our county on the IDA and the citizens of our state as a state senator and the interests of the industry that's shoving thousands of dollars in his direction? Based on his affiliation with the biomass industry, he is incapable of making unbiased decisions that's going to benefit the people that he claims to represent. This is what happens when I sit at home and I'm trapped in my home from the noise. This is where it goes. The citizens of this county had to take matters into their own hands to stop the burning of railroad ties. And because of that action, we're now getting the attention of the national media and national environmental groups. The Sierra Club, Dogwood Alliance, the Washington Post, just to name a few, have mentioned our efforts in their publications. Citizens in other states are reaching out to us for help with their issues, with their environmental issues, with fighting creosote being burned in their towns. We would like to be able to say that we have our county commissioners behind us. We're simply trying to keep our county beautiful and our quality of life where it was before GRP came. And we would really love to be the ones to say, you know what? Madison County doesn't take this, and set precedents going forth in regards to industry, energy production, and environmental injustice. I hope that this information will be useful to you in your decision on whether you'll let Senator Ginn remain the executive director of our Industrial Development and Business Authority. And I appreciate your time this evening.
Okay. Anybody else?
Chairman Scarborough, I'd like to speak if there's no one there present that wants to speak.
Okay, go ahead. This is Leanne Jones. Go ahead.
Yep, it's still me, Leanne Jones, at 147 South 4th Street. I hope everybody was able to have some semblance of a normal Thanksgiving. We haven't gotten to chat in a while. I wanted to echo Gina Ward's sentiments regarding Senator Ginn's acceptance of campaign funds from biomass industry, because I think this acceptance is a gross display of conflict, considering his role with our county IDA, and I'd hope that anyone could be able to easily see why. And I'd also like to revisit the GRP noise issue, which has been discussed with this board since at least August of 2019. The noise continues to be a persistently unacceptable issue, and I believe this was last discussed at a board meeting in September, and I want to thank Commissioner Doster for returning my call to let me know the status of the noise study contract. And I'd like to know when we can expect the noise study to begin, and what will this study actually entail, because I think there were a few things up for discussion, and what action is set to happen by the board once this study is completed. And I'd also like to make mention of GRP's use of construction and demolition wood waste material as their fuel. Just because we put boots on the ground to help take care of the creosote issue does not mean that our environment is safe. C&D wood waste can include anything from wood preservatives, paints, glues, plastic laminating materials, particle board, fiberboard, manufactured wood, staples, nails, PVC, plastic, electrical wire, and all of the above associated chemicals thereof. The list goes on, and I'd just like to know, what is the board doing to ensure their constituents are safe? And I appreciate your time.
Okay. Thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to speak tonight? All right. On to the executive session portion. Mr. Pruitt, anything here tonight?
No, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did. I blew past that one. There's agenda item number 15, which is an opportunity, not unlike the statements and remarks from citizens or statements and remarks from commissioners. I'm sorry. I did not mean to speed past that. So I'll open the floor if commissioners have any comments that they'd like to make.
Mr. Chairman, there's been several comments made regarding the noise study that the board authorized. After some consideration with the county attorney, COVID, personal issues with between, timing, I guess. I think we're ready to move forward with that. And I'll be working with it as the board directed or gave me authority to work together with that consultant. So hopefully we'll have an update fairly soon.
That contract has been signed, so it's in progress. So any comment from any other commissioner? All right, not hearing any, then we are on to just need a motion to adjourn.
Make motion to adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn, folks. 7:40 p.m. Thank you all.